The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
14:20 in the morning, 14 minutes and 20 seconds where the sports talk to get you through your daily commute. Hot takes, recaps, best bets, and a little humor to get your day going in the right direction. Sit back, grab your coffee, and let's get into it. All right, 14:20 in the morning for this 9th day of January 2024. Today's show, as always, is brought to you by SeatGeek.com, the SeatGeek app. Use promo code 1420pod at SeatGeek.com today and save yourself $20 on your first purchase over there at SeatGeek. Remember, we are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Go to bellyupsports.com for all their great sports articles and other podcasts, such as the one going on tonight. My boys over at Craft Brewed Sports join Mike and the guys 6 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, 8 o'clock Eastern on their YouTube channel. I think it's on the Belly Up channel as well. Make sure you go and check that out. Always a good time with Mike and the guys talking whatever. They'll probably talk about the college football game last night, the championship game, which turned out to be a bit of a dud, but that's not a big deal. Anyways, kind of had a feeling it was going to turn out that way, but that's just the way things roll in the world of college sports and sports in general. Remember, and thank you very much for everybody who listens to the show on a daily basis, whether it be podcast form or over there on YouTube. And if you haven't checked out the YouTube channel, make sure you go and check it out today. We put new shows up there each and every day for your viewing pleasure at YouTube. 1420 Sports Podcast YouTube channel. Anyways, big news out of Philadelphia last night. Kind of broke up the hockey world a little bit. A player by the name of Cutter Gauthier, the Flyers' first round pick, 5th overall in 2022. He was traded to the Anaheim Ducks last night. He kind of forced the Ducks, the Flyers' hand a little bit when he said he didn't want to be a Philadelphia Flyer. It all started coming about last summer when he decided to not go to the Flyers development camp in the summer, kind of citing that he was tired from playing the World Championship, a full year of college hockey. Plus, he played at the World Juniors last year for Team USA. As he did this year, he scored 7 goals, 12 points total in 7 games at the World Juniors, leading the Team USA to a gold medal at this recent World Juniors just wrapped up on Friday. But anyways, Gauthier, he basically didn't show up, and he voiced his displeasure that with the Flyers, saying he didn't want to play there, but he had no intentions of joining the Flyers organization. He didn't really go on to say why. But kind of a stark contrast at the draft day when he said he was made to be a Flyer. He was happy to be a Flyer. He liked the jersey. He liked everything about it. And then, he changed his mind over time. The Flyers tried to meet up with Cutter Gauthier at the World Juniors. He gracefully declined. Didn't really give a reason why. He just basically said, I'm not meeting with you guys. I'm focused on this tournament, not worried about my pro career right now. Anyways, the Flyers, before this news came out and became really public that he wasn't going to be joining the Flyers anytime soon. He had no intention of playing with them because that would decrease his trade value, and the trade value would have went down considerably if that news got out. So the Flyers made the deal. They said, "The heck with it. We're going to get rid of you. We're going to trade you, even though we like you as a hockey player. It's time to go. It's time to say thanks, bye, see ya." So they went and got with the Anaheim Ducks. They made a deal. Pat Verbeek, GM of the Ducks, he got the deal done for Jamie Drysdale, a great defenseman. Kind of had some injury problems, but he's going to be a very, very good D-man. It's a 1-for-1 kind of a deal. There's a draft pick involved going the other way as well, but it's a hockey deal that got forced by this Cutter Gauthier kid, which is we can get to that in half a second, but it's a deal that had to get done. The Flyers were forced to do it. The Flyers didn't want this to go public for one reason. They didn't want the trade demands to get out there because, like I said, he didn't want to diminish his trade value, and 2, they didn't need this kid being just in case he did change his mind and wanted to become a Flyer. They didn't need to have the Philly faithful who can be a bit ruthless at times. They didn't want to get that deal out there or this news out there. He didn't want to be a Flyer if he ended up playing for them, because they would have booed him relentlessly, and they would have forced a deal to get rid of him. Because if he didn't want to be a Flyer before, he wouldn't want to be a Flyer if that news got out. So that deal got done, and it's an odd deal. And a lot of people are comparing it to Eric Lindros becoming a Flyer years ago and not wanting to play with the Quebec Nordiques. And I kind of understand that thought process a little bit, but not a whole bunch of bit, because the thing with Lindros is he was going to be an all-time talent, and I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know who this Cutter Gauthier kid is. I'm not going to pretend that I've seen him play 50 games. I've seen him play the World Juniors. He's a very good player. He's going to score some goals in the National Hockey League. He's going to have a decent career, but Lindros was projected to be a Hall of Famer right when he was playing the Oshawa Generals in junior, and he decided to pull that crap as well with the Sault Ste. Marie Greyhounds, said he wasn't going to go play there. So now you have this Gauthier kid all these years later saying he wasn't going to play for the Flyers. So it's kind of ironic the way that all turns out. But the thing with Gauthier, he didn't say anything at the draft. He didn't say anything before the draft. He didn't say anything after the draft, or he didn't say anything for quite some time. It just over time he decided he didn't want to play there, and the news hasn't been released as to why, and nobody knows why. There's a lot of speculation, but we won't get into that just yet. The thing with Lindros is he told the Quebec Nordiques right off the bat that he wasn't going to play for them. Don't draft me. I'm not signing with you. I don't want to play there. Your team's awful. It's an awful franchise. I don't want to do it. I'm out. I'm not doing it. You wonder if that the Lindros draft would have been 2 years later when they moved to the Colorado Avalanche, if he would have had a different tune then. Who knows? But that's neither here nor there right now as we speak here on 1420 in the morning, sponsored by SeatGeek. Anyways, you just wonder, like, it's one of those situations with this Gauthier kid where he was all for playing for the Flyers. He said he was happy to be drafted by them, and then something just went sideways. Was it because Tortorella was the coach? Was it because there's been a shift in how things are being done there? Because the Flyers are actually having a very good season. They are going with a bit of a more of a youth movement. I know that Kevin Hayes had a few derogatory things to say about the Flyers. Did that change Gauthier's mind in the recent months that have gone by? Who knows? I don't know. But it's funny to see a guy like he was talked about last night in the Flyers post-game show. Some reporter asked Tortorella what he thought about Gauthier's trade and everything else. He said, I don't know Cutter from a hole in the wall. I don't care. I'm not going to discuss players who don't want to play here. And I think that's a perfect response from Tortorella, going and saying something like that and just saying, you know what? We're not going to worry about guys who don't want to be here. We're not going to comment on guys who don't want to be here, because you know what? That's Danny Briere's problem. That's Keith Jones' problem. It's not the players in the dressing room's problem. It's not me as the head coach's problem. I have to worry about the guys that are the 25 guys behind that door, behind that wall, and that are going on the ice every night. And so you have a situation now where this Gauthier kid's going to have a real tough go. Yeah, he's going to be playing in Anaheim. Who knows when he's I think he's a Boston College guy right now, having a pretty decent season out there. But if he does come out of college a little bit sooner, if he does delay, when he does end up playing against the Flyers at one point in Philadelphia, he's going to get a really rude awakening. And the thing about these kids that come out of college, remember Jimmy Vesey, he did the same thing, kind of forced his hand. You had Kevin Hayes who did it. You had Jim Fox ended up not wanting to play in Calgary, ended up playing with the Rangers, and they forced their hand because the collective bargaining agreement for college players is a different thing. So you wonder if Gauthier kind of seen the writing on the wall that he's going to come out of junior or come out of college and end up playing in the National Hockey League sooner rather than later, but maybe there wasn't a spot for him. He sees the depth chart of the Flyers, saying, you know what, I'm not going to be able to leave college early, go and make some money of my own, and end up playing pro this year. Maybe he saw something that others don't. Maybe he sees like the trade to Anaheim. He probably couldn't foresee that. Who could? Because rumor has it that the Montreal Canadiens turned down a deal for Gauthier. They said, maybe we'll stay away from that one. And he probably had a lot of teams who were like, well, if he doesn't want to play there, why would he want to play here? Did he want to? Because apparently it's family lives in Arizona. Did he want to be on the West Coast? I don't know. Nobody really knows. He hasn't spoken to it yet. Now he probably won't, because usually how these kids are, and they hide behind social media, and they hide behind their agents and everything else, and their parents, because apparently this guy's dad played in the National Hockey League as well. So you just kind of wonder how this is all going to turn out. Did he see a no chance of playing for the Flyers? I personally think that might be the thing that kind of pushed him away. Saw where he was going to be in the depth chart, and he didn't want to maybe play for a guy like John Tortorella, it's an odd situation to not want to play for Tortorella. Yes, Tortorella can be a bit hard on kids, and he can be a bit hard on players. He can be a bit hard on rookies, but most of the players that played for him, I'm not going to say all, but most of the players that play for him quite like playing for him, because he has a player's players coach, and he does get the most out of those kids for 3 or 4 years. He would have outlasted the duration that the Gauthier would have outlasted Tortorella's lifespan, because Tortorella's lifespan with most hockey teams is about 4 years. And he went, and by the time Gauthier got out of college and played in the National Hockey League and everything else, he would have outlasted Tortorella's coaching tenure in Philadelphia. I don't know how much I like these kids, and it's such a hard line, because nobody is forced to work anywhere in this world. If you're a plumber or a banker or a doctor or an accountant or a pipe fitter or an iron worker or a welder or whatever you want to be, the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, nobody is forced to work anywhere they don't want to. If they don't like their working conditions, it's their God-given right to not God-given, but it's their country given right to go and work somewhere else if they don't want to work there. So why is it different for a National Hockey League player? Yes, it is an honor to play in the league. Yes, you do have this one's actually a God-given skill that not many people have, and you have a chance to go out and make some like unbelievable money and do something. And yes, you shouldn't take advantage of that. And yes, you should be thank the good Lord above that you are given that kind of a talent, and you do have an opportunity to play a sport that you love, to go out and make some money, and you're at the highest level, which these National Hockey League players and football players and basketball players and soccer or whatever, baseball, whatever else it may be. So I don't know if I subscribe to that story about this kid should be just happy to play in the league until whoever drafts you, just shut your mouth and go play there. I do think maybe a kid should give it more of a chance. I do think that a kid that once you are drafted and you have said that you want to be a Flyer, that you're made to be a Flyer, and once you have accepted the fact that you are going to be a Flyer at draft day, and you do put that jersey on, I do think you should be obligated to give it a chance. Maybe not sign the contract, but go to these development camps, go to everything that it might be. Because remember, college kids can't sign and go back to college. Not like junior hockey, where you can sign a contract and the team can send you back. Once you're committed, you're there. You can't leave again, right? So I don't know if I subscribe to the fact that this kid, just because he didn't want to work there, that he should be able to work somewhere else. I think they should have to give it a chance a little bit. They should have to kind of give it the good old college try, I guess, and see if they want to play. Is this kid entitled? I don't know. Are all signs pointing that way? Yeah, they are, because there is an entitlement issue throughout the National Hockey League, and players are it's not just an entitlement thing. Players do have a lot more leverage than they used to, because of these draft picks, especially high draft picks, top 5, top 6 guys, they do garner a bit of attention, they garner a bit of money, and teams do tank to get these high picks to improve their team later on. So I don't know which side of the fence I'm on this one. Am I going to be a fan of Cutter Gauthier? Probably not. By the time I hear him speak, I'll probably like him even less than I do right now. Like I said, I'm not going to pretend that I know anything about this kid. I just going about what I read last night, heard in the radio this morning. I thought I'd talk about it here on 1420 in the morning. I just wanted to get other people's opinion about what they feel about these athletes, saying the yes, no, maybe so, when they do get drafted by a team and they don't want to go there. Eli Manning did it with the San Diego Chargers back in the day, right? And that's how he ended up with the New York Giants. And Philip Rivers ended up having a long career with the San Diego Chargers. So it has happened in the past. It doesn't happen a lot. And most kids end up playing for the team that drafts them, and they usually have some have great marriages, some have marriages that don't last a week and a half. It's just the way things, the way human beings are, not just the way sports and athletes are. If you like, there's a lot of times where you don't want to play somewhere, you just don't want to play there, and it might be just something that simple. Did he dislike Tortorella? Did he like the philosophy of the Flyers? Did he see himself not being able to be utilized with the Flyers situation? Did he see his offensive talents maybe being wasted if he played there? Did he actually lie about the color of their jersey? I don't know, but no one's ever going to know unless he speaks. And I highly doubt that the kid's actually going to speak and say anything about why he didn't want to be a Flyer, because I don't think anything that he says is going to turn out very well for Mr. Cutter Gauthier when it's all said and done. Like, I don't think it's going to turn out very well at all for him, because Flyers fans are going to be ruthless regardless of what this kid ends up saying. And like, no matter what, this kid is going to be tarred and feathered in the court of public opinion in Philadelphia. It's not the city of brotherly love. Don't get anybody wrong. They're a passionate fan base out there, and you admire them for it. So I wouldn't expect the Philadelphia Flyers fans to change their minds on this one. What was it good for Gauthier, for Dan Briere, the GM, and Keith Jones to say not a whole bunch? Yes, it was. But the way that he came out to Jones last night on the Flyers telecast, he basically said, you know, the kid didn't want to be here, so we're going to get rid of him. Before it becomes a problem, we're just going to get rid of him. He doesn't want to be a Flyer. We can't force him to be a Flyer. Thanks, bye, see ya. That's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. We made a hockey deal. We're a better team now than we were. We didn't want a kid playing for us that didn't want to be here. Pretty simple. And that's just the facts of it all. I appreciate that Jones's honesty and ability to come out and say that last night. I think it was a great way to do it. Briere was the same way in his media availability, saying, you know what, the kid didn't want to be here. He doesn't know why he didn't want to be here. So let's just get rid of him. Let's get rid of the problem before it becomes the best way to avoid a situation is to avoid a situation. And that's what the Flyers did by not bringing that guy around, not having that guy in the dressing room, not bringing him around. Maybe if they sign him in the late in the season when his college season is done, because it happens a lot, just not have him around. And some of the players were commenting on it this morning, saying, you know what, the kid didn't want to be here. I'm not going to comment on it. We'd rather have players that want to be here, be part of the team, be part of the solution, making the Flyers a better team. And they're playoff fringe team right now. I don't want to put them in the playoff category as of yet, considering how bad of a season they had last year. But this was a good hockey deal that they went and got that Drysdale kid who's a good player. Will Gauthier have a great career in Anaheim playing with Trevor Zegras? He very well might be. He might have a great time playing out there. Closer to home, who knows? I don't know. I like I said, I'm on both sides of the fence about this one. Should the kid have been forced to play somewhere he didn't want to? No. But should the kid have misled the Flyers for that amount of time? No, he should not have done that either. Break up with the guy early and often, whatever. See you later. Thanks, bye, see ya. Flat out say, I don't want to be here. And come out and give the reasons why. Like you're not going to force a kid or change his mind. Like the kid's 18 years old, he got drafted, and then he's 20 years old now, and he made some decisions, and he made some lifestyle changes or whatever it might be. You don't know until we hear the third side of the story. There's three sides to every story: his side, their side, and the truth, right? And so until you get to the bottom of the whole thing and hear what he has to say, we can't really speculate. Do I think it's an entitlement thing? Personally, that's my own thing. It's just one of those gut feelings that I have about this one. But I really think that Danny Briere, this kid did owe, at the very least, he did owe the Philadelphia Flyers an explanation as to why he didn't want to go there. Briere and Jones wouldn't have come out and said why he didn't. They would not have disclosed to the media. It would have been a grown-up conversation between what was going to be a GM, what was going to be a team president, and a player, and his agent or whoever. But somebody in the Gauthier camp definitely owed the Philadelphia Flyers and their staff an explanation of what was going on, because they invested some money in this kid and they invested some time in this kid and everything else. Why this kid couldn't have just met up with Briere, who seems like a logical guy, a level-headed guy. Why they couldn't have met up with Keith Jones, logical guy, level-headed guy, long-time NHL guy, been around the game for a long time. Why this kid couldn't have at least given them 10 minutes of his time, of his precious time, to say, here's the reasons why I don't want to play. You're not changing my mind. Shake the hands of the team, and that's it. And that's why I think this is an entitlement thing. That's why I think this kid's going to turn out to be a little prick. And it took me till 11:01 at 14:20 in the morning to use a derogatory quasi swear word. And that's why I think that this one stinks to high heaven, because this kid couldn't give people who invested time and money in him the time of day at the World Juniors. It wouldn't have been hard. It wouldn't have been hard, because they did reach out. They did try. It would have been easy to say, listen, you know what? I just don't think it's right for me to be a Philadelphia Flyer at this time of my career. If something changes later on in my life, where I whatever's going on, I'd be more than happy to play with your franchise at a latter date if a trade opportunity arises, whatever it might be. But right now just isn't the proper time. He could lie to him. Just tell him. Just say that. Right now is not the proper time in my career path moving forward to be a Philadelphia Flyer. Thanks for your time. See you later. Done. That's all you had to do. Pretty simple. Like, not hard. 10-minute conversation. They weren't going to change his mind, because once somebody has their mind made up, they're not working somewhere. I've done it before. Like, once my mind was made up to work for a certain company or not work anymore, you can't change it. And then once you got a foot out the door, you might as well just jump out the whole way, because it's over. Right. And so and I think that's what this kid he had, and he just wasn't going to change his mind and be proven any different. And he did owe the Flyers a bit of time. So anyways, there's my thoughts on the Danny Briere situation. Anyways, here is a word from a Belly Up sponsor and sponsor of the 1420 podcast as well, Righteous Felon Jerky. Righteous Felon Craft Jerky is the official jerky of Belly Up Sports. For over a decade, Righteous Felon Craft Jerky has led the American meat snack revolution by concocting delicious, adventurous, U.S.-sourced jerky recipes for uncompromising carnivores across the country. With 15 different flavors to choose from, Righteous Felon has all jerky lovers covered, and by using promo code BELLYUP, you will get 15% off your purchase at righteousfelon.com. Do your taste buds a favor today and rip into a bag of Righteous Felon jerky. There it is. Thank you very much to Righteous Felon Jerky for sponsoring the 1420 podcast, as well as all the Belly Up Media shows and website and everything else. Thank you very much to Righteous Felon Jerky, the best in jerky in the nation, craft jerky to say the least. Let's do in on this day and get everybody out of here on this glory. It's supposed to get really cold here in southern Alberta starting tomorrow, so I'm gonna go batten down the hatches and get some yard work done and just stuff outside before she gets to minus 20, which is darn cold. So it's going to take care of that. All right. On this day in 1977, the Oakland Raiders faced the Minnesota Vikings in front of 438 people at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena, California. It was the second Super Bowl for the Raiders and the fourth for the Vikings. The Raiders entered the game with a 13-1 record, while the Vikings had an 11-2-1 regular season record, with both teams having future Hall of Fame quarterbacks under center with Ken Stabler and Fran Tarkenton. The game was scoreless in the first quarter, but was taken over by Oakland in the second quarter, and they scored on 3 consecutive possessions and had a record 288 yards in the first half, take a 16-0 lead at halftime. Oakland added 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns. One was 75-yard interception by Willie Brown, and the second by a 2-yard rushing TD, his second of the game, to make the score 32-7. Minnesota scored a late touchdown in garbage time to end the scoring at 32-14. Fred Batelnikov, got that right, was named the MVP of the Super Bowl with 4 receptions, 79 yards. The Super Bowl 11 was the only Super Bowl championship for legendary coach John Madden on this day in 1977. I always thought Madden won a whole bunch more than that, but I guess not. It's just one of those things that the legend kind of gets a little bit larger as the years go by. Great coach. I just thought he had more Super Bowl victories. It's one of those things. Anyways, there's 1420 in the morning. Make sure you guys subscribe to the YouTube channel today. Go over there and check out a bunch of videos, everything else. It's entertaining stuff. Just put a new one up about me and Dave from last night, talking about the situation between the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints situation on Sunday afternoon after their game. Kind of had a few laughs on that one last night. A little later recording last night, and then it's up there now. And then the podcasts are always up there later on. Once Jim Neutron, Boy Genius, the producer, gets them all tickety-boo and up there with the commercials and everything added to them. So thank you very much, everybody who listens to the show on a daily basis. Make sure you talk to people about the show. That's the easiest way and the best way to share that. We can post all the stuff up on social media we want, but it's people hitting a button on their phone, sending it to somebody else, send somebody else, send it to somebody else. So it's one of those things. Anyways, that's it for today. It's 14:20 in the morning. Got a great interview lined up tonight with Eric Kratz of Belly Up Sports. We're going to talk about the New York Yankees off season, grade it a little bit, see how they've done. That'll be up tomorrow's 14:20 in the morning. So make sure you guys check that one out. Eric's got some great stuff up there. He was the Belly Up Writer of the Year. He had some great articles. He's a hardworking kid. He puts a lot of stuff up there at the Belly Up Sports Internet Baseball Writers Association of America. He does a lot of work, so make sure you guys go and check out his baseball articles. Got a few football ones out there as well. Good writer, great writer. I shouldn't say good writer. He's a great writer. He's taken some time out of his busy schedule to join us tonight at 1420 World Headquarters to discuss the Yankees. So it should be a lot of fun. Anyways, that's it for today's show. And remember, it doesn't matter where you are. It's who you're with. Have a great day, folks. We'll talk to you tomorrow. You just listened to the 1420 Sports Bar Podcast. 4 beer with the sports talk and a whole lot more. We are part of the Belly Up Media Network. Let's get into it.